Hey Canucks fans, it's Canucks Game Day, and I have to ask, is there a problem with the leadership within the team? I'm Canuck Clay. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take on one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, November the 26th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. And as always, this vlog is brought to you by Van City Experts Real Estate Group. Trust Jason and his team for all your real estate needs. And by Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Sign up now for a free 7-day trial using the link in my video description below. I'm going to preview the game first, and then I'm going to talk about leadership. So let's talk about the game first. No Canucks morning skate today. There's going to be media availability this afternoon. But in essence, if they play how they practice, which Travis Green likes to do, then we can expect new look lines, the PPG line, the Podkolzin, Pettersson, Garland line, dismantled after one game. So now we're back to Pearson with Horvat. So let's go Horvat, Pearson, and Garland. Then it's Miller, Besser, Höglander, Pettersson, Podkolzin, and Dowling. And then a fourth line with Dickinson centering Mott and Chason. That means Lammikko is the extra. Then on the blue line with no Hamonic and with Pullman playing so poorly, at least the way they practice, was back to OEL with Myers, Hughes with Shen, and then I always say Rathbone, maybe because I want him so badly to play. Burrows with Pullman on the third pairing, and then that means Hunt's the extra. So that means Hunt and Lammikko with extras at practice yesterday. Not sure if that's how they go tonight, but I think that could be a good bet. And then my guess with the back-to-back coming up Sunday, Monday, I go Demko tonight. I give Halak Sunday against Boston, and then go back to Demko Monday, Montreal. So that's what I would do. So maybe it's Demko, but we won't know until this afternoon. Okay, so that's what the game's going to look like after. I'll be coming. I'm in Langley all day today. Ends at 4. I'll be listening in the first period. So I'll get home maybe to watch the second and third, and we'll see what happens post game. I think Gail and I want to hit Tuason Mills tonight, so I'm not sure if I'll be doing much post game wise, but we'll see. Let's worry about that later. I think if the Canucks win, I'll do something. At least I'll be more motivated to do something. Let's talk about leadership. Now, I'm not talking about off the ice, so I'm not talking about coaching. I'm not talking about management. I'm not talking about the fact that we don't have ownership. I'm not talking about the fact we don't have a president. But, those are the 4 parts, aside from presidency, because we don't have one. Those are the 4 areas we kind of look at. Where can the Canucks change? And we're talking about ownership, unlikely. Then there is management, GM, coaching, Travis Green and his crew, or players. And it's very hard to make a good trade for value right now because we're dealing from a position of weakness for sure. You don't want to give up. Well, I don't want to give up any of our young core of Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, Demko, Podkolzin, Höglander. Those are the 6 that I talk about. And then, Miller and Horvat are kind of in the next category. And that's who I want to talk about today. I think Horvat's 28, Miller's 30. And the interesting thing is there's been a lot of rumors. And I try not to talk too much about rumors here. Like you guys know, I'm not a clickbaity type person. But when enough people are saying it, when I'm hearing not just from media, but from people who are connected to people, that there is a rift in the dressing room, then I feel comfortable talking about it. I'm not going to out any sources, of course, but because a lot of it is simply what all of you hear as well in the media. And Matt Sakaris, who I respect a lot, he had something to say about it. He basically said black and white. There's a Horvat camp. There's a Miller camp. There's Tanner Pearson in the Horvat camp, and everyone else is either with Miller or somewhere in between. So there's that. There's others that have said that Horvat isn't, the most well-respected leader in the dressing room. We've heard stories about Horvat missing, the Halloween team party, the team Halloween party, and then people getting upset about that. So who knows? And then all I can talk about is what I know to be true, and especially what I see. And I think it's JT Miller is the parallel or the contrast, because he's the one, along with Horvat, that's always being trotted out to the media after losses, right? You kind of think of the press conferences or the media availability. It's always Horvat and Miller. Once in a while you get a PD or a Hughes or an Ekman Larson, but really it's Horvat and Miller that do the lion's share of media. So we get to hear from them the most. We get to hear how they react the most. We also know that Miller is very demonstrative on the ice, which can be both a positive and negative. I like it. I like someone who's fiery, who's emotional, who's passionate. I can see where too much negative body language or too much swearing. Well, maybe not the swearing, just because I don't swear, but maybe the negative body language or the yelling at teammates or the eye rolls, that can wear on you for sure. And maybe that's not the most when it comes to motivation. That's not the best. But I'd still rather have someone who's passionate, who cares about the team, who cares about winning, cares about his teammates, than someone who's kind of indifferent or apathetic. So that's why there's this contrast between Miller and Horvat. I'm not saying that Horvat is any of those things. Horvat, you guys know, is my favorite Canucks player right now. But he's not as vocal, and maybe his play isn't as noticeable. He's solid. He does his rushes. He scores a big goal once in a while. But Miller seems to be more noticeable because he, on the penalty kill, on the power play, verbally creating things on offense, and then even making bad passes on offense as well. The final parallel is both of them have contracts that expire at the end of next season, not this season. Brock Besser's the big one this season. Next season, Horvat's 6-year, $5.83 million contract expires, and Miller's $5.25 million contract expires. So they're potentially both looking in for raises around to the $6.5 to $7 million mark. That's just my guess. Whether both guys want to sign here, I think a lot of what happens in the next 18 months will determine that. But yeah, there's a lot to consider for sure. So laying all that on the table, I'm not going to talk about Miller and Horvat's new contracts or anything like that right now. I want to talk about leadership. Is without making you choose between one or the other, I'm going to kind of make you choose right now. If the question was, whose leadership style do you like, Horvat or Miller? I would love for you to answer that. And maybe connected to that, if you don't want to choose Horvat or Miller, just talk to me about Miller. Does his fiery, passionate style, is that appealing to you, or is that a turnoff to you? Because if it's a turnoff to you, then you probably prefer Horvat. If you like it, then you probably prefer Miller. And again, I'm not just setting up as Miller versus Horvat, but right now I am talking about those two players. Are PD, Hughes, and Besser, are they experienced enough? Do they have command of the room, respect enough to be leaders? Not so sure yet. Then you have Ekman Larsson, who's probably still finding his voice. Myers and Pearson came from other teams, so as did Miller, I guess. But really, Horvat was drafted by this team back in 2013, and like I said, Besser, Pettersson, Hughes maybe not there just yet. So when it comes to leadership, Sutter's a good leader too, but he's not in the dressing room right now. So you're really looking at guys like Horvat, Miller, and to a lesser extent Pearson, Ekman Larsson, and Myers, I would say. So that's my question to you, Canucks fans, today is between Horvat and Miller, if you had to choose one. It doesn't mean that the other guy that you don't choose has to leave the team. It simply means I'm asking you, whose leadership style do you like the most from what you know and what you see? I admit we don't know what they're like in the locker room. You can kind of presume what they're like in the locker room from what they're like on the ice and with the media. But, let's go out on a limb here and tell me whose leadership style you like more, Miller or Horvat. Shout out to my hero members, nucksfan number 29, Justin Credible, Lucas Gates, and Andrew Chang. Hall of Fame members, Jens95, simalexander, Chris Seifert, Adam Broomfield, Shannon Hollingworth, Carol Bovenlander, and HSM Fangirl Gaming. Thanks for your support as always. And thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You're listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or in my videos on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Hero and Hall of Fame members, I will send out the time slots later today when I get home from work for our Zoom chats happening on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday of this week. Subscribe. Oh, if you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or in my videos on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member of this channel if you'd like to, leave a comment down below if you'd like to. Horvat or Miller, whose leadership style do you prefer? I'll see you after the game in some way, some shape, or form. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Enjoy the day and enjoy tonight's Canucks game. Canucks in Columbus, game number 2 of their 5-game roadie. God bless, and go Canucks go.